It says this, what good is it for a man to gain the whole world and yet lose or forfeit his very self? He says, it's very simple. What good is it for a man to gain the whole world? Let's say you get the whole world. Okay, let's think about what that would mean. Let's say you don't deny yourself, okay? You don't deny yourself. You get everything you want. Whatever feels good, just do it. Just go after it. And let's say you get everything you want, okay? You gain the whole world. Let's say billions and billions of dollars, okay? You got an unlimited amount of money. And let's say you live to be 100 in perfect health. At 100, you're still, playing ball, you're running around, you're happy, you're healthy, you feel great. At 100 years old. At 100 years, from being a billionaire of all these years, you've got mansions everywhere, you're traveling the world. Anything your heart desires. You can experiment with any type of drug. All the women you want, all the men you want, whatever you want, you got it all, okay? This is 100, just everything your heart desires you get. You're famous, you don't ever, ruin your reputation by following Jesus and preaching. None of that, you deny it, you just have an absolute blast. Say for 100 years, you did it. You lived the happiest life of anyone who has ever lived on this earth. Let's just say you just had the most fun, most pleasure, and then you die. You die, and say the first 30 seconds of being in hell. Okay, the Bible describes hell as total darkness, and yet at the same time it refers to it as a lake of fire. So you're in this burning heat in total darkness. It says that you'll hear this weeping and gnashing of teeth, just this wailing everywhere for 30 seconds. These are Jesus' words as he described that destiny. After 30 seconds of being in that darkness and knowing this is what life's going to be from here on out, are you going to look back at the 100 years and go, well, it was worth it? Maybe. But how about after an hour or a day? How about after a year? How about after 100 years of that? Think about that. You had your 100 years of pleasure, now 100 years total torment. About 200 years or 300 years, realizing you've got thousands to go, you've got all of eternity, and that's all you have to look forward to forever. At what point will you finally go, it wasn't worth it? See, Jesus' statement is, what good is it? What gain is it if you gain the whole world? Okay, you got it all, but then you forfeit or you lose your very self. Matthew and Mark use the word your very soul, meaning your soul is your real self. So what? You had a great time here on earth. You got to keep all those things. You didn't have to give up anything for Jesus. He says, but then at the end, you lost your soul. You forfeited. You freely gave it up. You made a decision and said, I love this stuff so much. I'm going to hold on to it. And yes, I'll lose my soul, but I'm going to have a good time now. And Jesus, would you think about that? That's really worth it to you? That really makes sense to you? To give up your soul for the sake of gaining the world for a few years? See, while Jesus' words are difficult and we go, I gotta deny myself, I gotta take up my cross, be willing to die, oh man, I gotta give up all that, I have to follow him. He says, well, what's the alternative? You're gonna just go for the world and give up your soul? What do you do?